how that meat gets to your plate. So this is exactly what we're doing. Now we're taking you down to Tiffany Cattle Company and showing you a little of, how that chef prepared that piece of meat, cut it, sliced it, and look at the marbling and say, how does it get there? So we wanted to teach you along the way about the marbling, the way that it's fed, the way that everything is done, to show you what the grades are and how it gets there. And why is it important to the chef and to Creekstone Farms and to us as well, because as distributors, we want to make sure that we know what we're selling out there. So I wanted to bring you in, show you what's happening in Tiffany, and educate ourselves as well. So we'll make sure that we take all this out to you. Located in what was once a former Army air base, Tiffany Cattle Company lies deep in the heart of central Kansas. Shawn and Shane's father, Steve Tiffany, was yard manager at Black Diamond Feeders for 14 years. So when the former owner, Doug Lau, was ready to hand off the business that helped launch the U.S. premium beef, he offered the chance to Shawn and Shane Tiffany, making them owners of Tiffany Cattle Company today.
So Tiffany Cattle Company is a custom finished feedlot. So what that means is that we take customer-owned cattle and we finish them on a professional level. We provide all the marketing, all the risk management services that go along with that.
And then also we have tremendous relationships with our marketing partners such as Creekstone in order to provide high-end retail markets for the high-end cattle that we're feeding, and that translates into greater profitability for our customers.
Today, Tiffany Cattle Company is one of Kansas's leading cattle operations. Their focus here is to take their customer-owned cattle and feed them a strict and nutritious vegetarian diet. After the feeding process is complete, the cattle are then transported to the Creekstone Farms processing facility. The Angus beef is known to give the best quality eating experience in the industry, hitting a target audience of the upper echelon of the beef industry. Angus beef is recognized by every consumer out there. After years and years of marketing and branding, it does not matter what language you speak or what part of the world you're in, the Angus breed is recognized internationally as the best breed out there. These cattlemen are very well versed when it comes to taking care of cattle, present throughout every step of the way, making sure they have a healthy meal and they're being fed correctly.
It's really hard to identify on the cattle when one's sick or when one's hurt, because they have a God-given mechanism to where they mask their symptoms, right? And so you have to have this sense, so you have to be able to read them in a sense to know when they're sick or when they need your help. And so our cowboys are highly skilled. They're good horsemen, they're good animal husbandry guys, and so they can identify those injured or sick cattle that need our help early on in the process, which is crucial to get an effective treatment.
Shawn, explain to me a little what's happening here in your new outfit. It's been about a year old coming. Give us a little explanation of what's happening inside.
So this is our cattle processing facility. All incoming cattle will come through this barn and get their vaccines and identification upon arrival. That way we can just identify them amongst whichever customer owns them. But more importantly, get them their vaccines so they can remain healthy. All cattle, both in conventional and natural programs, will get vaccinations of some sort, just to steward the lives of those animals. And this facility we constructed a little over a year ago. It's actually called a bud tub system. It's the latest evolution in animal welfare from a processing standpoint. So this facility utilizes several facets of cattle instinct to help them flow in a fashion that is safe for them, that is low stress for them. And so, as you can see right here, cattle will come in through this opening in the barn, and they come up into this tub system. And Cattle's natural tendency once they get into a confined space is to try to turn around and go back exactly where they came from. And so this facility incorporates that, and they'll come back against that gate, and they come into this alleyway system, which is actually a double alley. So that's the next part of animal instinct that we utilize in this concept is it's a double alley, so two animals can be coming through at a time, or numerous animals. And then we intentionally don't have any sheeting here to where they can see that animal next to them. So instead of going in a single file line where they don't feel like they have that herd with them, this one they're going in double file and they can feel that animal's presence next to them, and they flow very, very naturally. The system's also designed to be very quiet. Everything has bushings in it to where they're not making a lot of noise and stressing each other out. And our chute up at the end is also a very silent chute. It's designed in such a way to where there's no metal on metal, keeping things quiet in here. If we were processing cattle in here today, I could be having this conversation with you right now.
While going through the alleyway system, the cattle are being weighed, given their vaccines, and indentation so each Angus can be tracked all through the feeding and harvest process.
Throughout the year, there's going to be different ages of cattle coming in here. We have what we call turns in the cattle industry. And so in the fall, we're typically having our calf turn or our calf run, and those are typically calves that were born in the spring. They've just recently been weaned on the ranch, and then they come to us. So those animals are going to be about 7 to 8 months of age. Whereas this time of the year in the spring, the cattle that are coming in here are largely yearlings. They're older cattle, and they're going to be more mature, so they're going to tend to gain faster and perform a little bit better as opposed to those calf feds.
Having a clean and safe environment for both the cattle and the staff is essential here at Tiffany Cattle Company.
Just like a human hospital, we need to have as good and clean and sterile of an environment as we possibly can. There's a lot of thought and consideration that goes into every aspect of an animal's life in the feed yard system, whether that's from a clean pen to a clean water to high quality rations. The little things matter. In the feed yard industry, the finer details is what sets apart great operations and great animal welfare from being average.
Making sure the cattle are being kept relaxed and calm throughout the feeding process is important. Any rise in stress levels could potentially impact the quality of the meat.
Stress also greatly affects meat quality. We need to be really calm and gentle when we're loading those fat animals just out as they're getting on the truck just before harvest too, because once again, if we stress them out and they release those endorphins into their bloodstream, it will impact meat quality, and it can also impact the meat color. You hear about dark cutters. Well, those happen when animals get too stressed. And so everything that we do from the very beginning to the very end is focused on their well-being and just handling that stress load.
Tiffany Cattle Company ensures consistency in all animal diets. It starts with grass-fed, and it's finished with all natural grains to ensure consistency of marbling scores.
So when cattle arrive, we start them out on a high roughage, low concentrate diet because that's what their rumen is adjusted or accustomed to eating. And then over the course of the first month of them being here, we'll slowly transition them over to our finished diet. It's all the same ingredients in both situations. It's just varying inclusion rates. So once cattle have been here about 25 days, by that point they're up on our top ration. They're eating that higher percentage corn diet. But we can't start them out there, or we'll create rumen problems and gut health problems.
So in conclusion, what you guys have seen today is the low stress cattle handling, the high quality feedstuffs, and then the genetics that are the foundation to it all, right? When done correctly, leads to that quality product that, that we all want,
Well, that's what we are here trying to connect those.
Sure.
That grading, with the feed and the way Creekstone does, right, all the way down to the line. So
like this doesn't just happen overnight, right? I mean, you don't just put cattle on feed and get that quality product. It takes every little step, every little thing takes so much detail and so much thought and
Well, it
energy.
takes years, like
Yeah.
we were
Yeah, you're
discussing
saying a
earlier.
2-year,
From a breeding decision to a steak in the restaurant is a minimum of 2 years.
Right. I mean, most people just get a steak and they say, man, that was great, but they have no idea all the time and energy and how many people had to do their job correctly to get that end result. So.
Tiffany Cattle Company is a key partner in the new era of beef.